mean, which page am I on?
Whose page can we use for this? And just, they have 1 million followers.
That's right. Good morning. Is it still morning?
Early afternoon?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Hi. Welcome to What Your Friends Won't Tell You. Shannon came over this afternoon or this morning. Thank you for making the drive.
No problem.
Because she lives on that road. We live about 40 minutes away from each other. So it's a bit of a haul.
It is, and some days it's just lovely. Like a lot of times I leave here and drive the beach road because I-95 literally, you're like, I feel like Indy 500 basically.
Oh, and if you get anywhere south of here, you're dead.
Yeah.
I was okay. We're getting off topic right now, but really quickly,
we're excited to see you guys.
I was driving to Miami the other day.
Oh no!
I know, and some guy in a motorcycle right behind me did the up on one wheel. Literally right behind me with my son in the car, and I'm like if he rolls over, he's hitting me, and then I'm gonna kill him because he's an idiot. So that's my I-95 recent story.
every day on I-95. My husband and I, and the fun part is like when you drive to Gainesville, or you drive somewhere because my daughter's at UF. And
Lori is driving past Gainesville right now.
Oh my God!
She goes,
Be careful!
Thank God you guys are on 6 hours in a car and 4 to go.
Oh my God! We're gonna pray for you.
Yeah.
Be careful.
She's driving with the family for spring break.
Well, then this will be fun for you because this is our little fun pastime when you drive to Gainesville. Try to count all the people that are reading. Or watching a movie.
Or putting on makeup.
Oh, that's easy. Like that stuff I do. I'm talking about reading a book or online reading or watching a movie while they're driving.
Okay, well hopefully Lori's not driving. Hopefully Shannon, her husband, is driving.
Yes.
We're praying.
Yeah. You got this.
So today we wanted to talk about a topic that actually came up from someone who had suggested this topic, believe it or not.
Yes.
And I think there's many different angles to this speak up or shut up topic.
That's
Mike
nice.
Caruso, I'm going to Jacksonville on Wednesday. Mikey, we missed you.
Careful.
I know. I haven't seen
Travel
Mikey in
safely.
forever.
I know.
Because he left CBS 12 before I left, and so miss you, Mikey. So I think there's a lot of angles to this topic.
She's not driving.
Thank you, Lori.
We figured you weren't.
That's right. So we can go from the angle, which is what it suggested, that she knows something about a friend and her relationship drama, but she didn't want to tell the friend.
Right.
Or it can be from the angle of, something is bothering you in a friendship and should you speak up and say something, or do you just let it go?
Yeah.
Let it go.
I'm not singing this morning. You can't make me. I got a raspy smoker's voice.
Down. Don't you worry. So I think there's two different angles for this, and this has come up many times in my life with friends. And sometimes I've chosen to let it go. Yeah. And sometimes I've chosen to say, hey, this is something that bothers me, or this is something that I know. Right. And I think there's a lot of different. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer.
Oh, this is not one of those kind of shows. Yeah. We do not know your answer. Right. We're going to help you find your answer because we don't know your answer for sure. Because
there's no right or wrong. Sometimes you need to speak up because it's what you need to do, but maybe someone else wouldn't. So I think there's no right or wrong answer. Suzanne always sings. Mike Caruso says, "That's true, Mike."
It's true. And I actually love to sing, but this morning I literally feel like I smoked a pack of cigarettes.
Really?
I got this raspy country thing going, so if you can get a country song.
It's sexy. Okay, so what do you...
So it's funny, when you bring this up, I think about, you say I've done this lots in my life. I think about my childhood. I had this person in my life in my childhood. I don't want to be too specific. Who knows if they're watching from far away.
That's right.
But I had a very serious boyfriend who had a lifelong bestie. And so, they do everything together, and then you end up with the girlfriend because you're always all four together. And she really just kind of went like this all the time, and her boyfriend was gorgeous and sexy and flirty and charming and probably narcissistic and because I loved him, right. So, and hooking up with everyone, and she was like kind of right there and like no,
he's perfect.
No. And so it went against everything I believed in, and I'm so protective of women, but it was one of those situations where it's like, you don't, if you say something, you're out.
Right.
You know, so there's these dicey situations where some.
So she was in complete denial.
Oh, complete.
Yeah.
Like she literally walked in more than once and was like on him watching movies and things, and it was like, wait, they were
with
just
other
watching,
women.
Yeah, just watching a movie. I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, don't put me in a room with that guy watching a movie. Let me just be honest. Like I'm like, okay. I mean, you know, Bradley Cooper. Sure, we're just watching a movie. We're chatting. No, you know what I mean? It was that level.
Yeah.
And she was a pretty girl, but
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So that was my first introduction to this topic of like, well, do you say anything? Do you not say anything? And, you know, my mom really kind of helped me to understand you have to accept people where they are. Some people do not want to know.
No. Yeah.
And I see this, you know, even in my caseload, you know, that situation where somebody's husband is cheating and they have small children and they're like, you know what? I can't know about this right now. Like, I really can't do this right now. I don't have the money. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have to choose to just
put
do
the
me.
blinders on.
Yeah, and you know what I say to them? I get it.
Right.
You know, so I think that, you know, that's kind of some of my history with this kind of topic. And then the secret, you know, knowing something about maybe one of your friends or about their husbands, that's just awful, because what I see in that, even just in friendships, is when somebody finds out, for example, that maybe their significant other's cheating on them, the first thing that they feel devastated over is that everybody else knew.
And they felt like the fool.
They felt like the fool. And that one really kills me, because I know that there's good friends.
But I feel like there's so many people that actually did know. You know, they say they didn't know and that everyone else knew and they didn't know. But I think at your heart, if your husband or your wife is cheating on you, like, you know.
Well, knowing and knowing, right? So knowing in your gut versus evidence. What's so difficult is a lot of times, I mean, nowadays, you guys are screwed. I mean, social media, pictures. I mean, you're done. You're at you're in the back corner of the seediest restaurant, and the person from Del Rey that's never in Gardens gets a picture. Like, good luck to you guys that are out there trying to cheat. Like, I'll pray for you, man. You ain't gonna get away with it. But, you know, back in the day when you could, it used to be before cell phones. How did you really know? You'd have to hire a private detective, and it was that kind of money. You're home with small children, so back then you knew, but you didn't know.
Yeah,
and that's so difficult because your friends knew.
Yeah, Steph says Queens. Hey, Steph. Hey, Stephanie. So, but you know, my question is, okay, so of course, obviously, if it's my best girlfriend, you know, I think there's a little more of a I have to say something. But like, what degree of separation do you get with your friends or acquaintances where you say, do I need to get involved with, you know, my cousin's second girlfriend's brother, you know, and tell him that,
I did not follow that, just saying.
Right, you weren't supposed
I'm still on your cousin. I'm like, you might don't know who
you know,
this
it's
is.
trying to do the degree of separation.
Right,
but where, you know, how close of a relationship does it need to be where you know, I guess that's another question.
I think the question is like, so codependency always goes back to codependency, right? So first of all, you know, with codependency, you look at, I need to take care of me. So how is this impacting me? How is this impacting me? What does this have to do with me? You know, is this my place? I have a dear friend, Matt, I'll give you credit for this. And he always says, what other people say about you is none of your business. And I love that, because it's like, it really isn't any of my business. It's their opinion, and we all have a right to an opinion. So we need to figure out where we're in this, or are we in this? Are we in this at all, you know? So that's the first thing is do I need to do something to take care of myself? If you don't, and it has nothing to do with you, then I think the second test for me would be kind of saying to myself, the nag test. You know when you try to like let something go, and then like the next morning you wake up and it's like, excuse me, your friend's husband, and you're like, I know. And the next day you're like, it's none of my business. And then the next day it's like, excuse me. Yeah. I think that is our spirituality saying, this is actually for you to step into. Right. So I would listen to your gut and listen to that nagging voice. That's actually a tool that I use in my life right now. We're not really there yet, but I just realized that's a tool I use often. Even in my own marriage, if I have a feeling, right? We women, we're horrible, right? We get feelings all the time. Like, I saw the way you looked at my man. So you get a feeling, And I'll get a feeling, and I know it's probably crap, and it probably is just me being hormonal or whatever. So I will say to myself, I'm going to let that go.
Yeah.
Anything that I need to know will come back.
Yeah.
Right? So if every day it's like, no, that
you
neighbor.
Need to pay attention to that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a really great tool first and foremost with everything is like when something makes you anxious, or let it go.
Right.
If it comes back, it really is something to look at.
Yeah.
So that would be the first thing that I would do with that kind of situation.
Yeah. So I love your tools for this, because I think that they really kind of will help you figure out if this is something you need to if you need to speak up or if you need to shut up. And I think, this isn't just for if you know a secret, but I think it's also like if you need to speak your truth to someone and really, I hate saying that, speak your truth, it's so woo-woo, but if you really need, I mean, it is woo-woo, right? Speak your truth.
Oh, yeah.
As my son would say, yoga.
I was just going to say yoga. I was just going to say it's a yoga position.
Right.
Speaking your truth is an actual position. Right. Like what's the dog down or whatever?
It's downward dog.
Downward dog and speak your truth.
That's right. Well, okay, what's a better way to say it, Shannon?
No, that's
Just
the way to
speak
say
up,
it.
right?
No, it's woo-woo, but it's perfect because it's about speaking your truth, that you have to. We all need a voice, and that's what I spend my life teaching people is, okay, what is your voice, and then helping them speak it, because otherwise you're invisible in the world.
You know what's coming up for me is like bullying, like when do you, because the big thing I'm trying to focus on in my life right now is staying in my lane, because I go in everyone else's lane. I'm really good at that. But I think of like bullying, or when you're seeing some like social injustice or something happening that you really is none of your business, and it doesn't impact you at that moment, but like when do you
So this brings the first tool.
Okay.
Because I just had a flashback as you were saying that. So the first tool is know your audience. So I'll give you a perfect example. I was, and I probably shared this story before, but it was life altering for me. So I had moved into a new neighborhood, and I had figured out that somebody in the neighborhood was somebody I used to know from years ago, and oh my God, we knew, and your boyfriend, oh, what a small world. So we were all invited to another neighbor's birthday party for their little one. I mean, this is literally 16 years ago, probably. So I show up to the party, and I've got my two little ones, and we're getting out of the car, and they're 2 and 4, and they're chatterboxing, and we get out, and the neighbor that I know from 100 years ago is fighting with her husband. I mean, screaming at the top of her lungs. And he's throwing stuff and screaming, and on the curb are these 2 little precious ones that are like 3 and 5 or 4 and 6, and they're like kind of like
looking,
but they're
at
kind
mom
of used to
and
it.
dad.
They're
Yeah.
used
Oh,
to it.
obviously they
But
are.
they're
If they're doing it in public, they're doing
they
it
do it at home.
stores, right?
And they're kind of fussy faced, and of course it grabs me like it does any of us. Like, oh my God, what do I do? Do I get the authority? And then I took some deep breaths, and I stopped for a minute, and I literally looked at both of them and just watched. Didn't stop them. They kept engaging. Right. But I kind of assessed it. I'm like, is he going to hit her? No. Is he going to hit the children? No. This is what he does. He blows off. He throws the bucket with the, the swimmies and whatever. Right. It was a beach party. And I took a deep breath, and I was like, you know what? They do this all the time.
Right.
This is know your audience.
Right.
This woman has tolerated this her entire life, the entire marriage. My meddling's not going to change anything. Mm-hmm. It's going to put me in the middle of a very difficult. I live near them. Mm-hmm. She's going to be coming to me asking questions and and still never change. Right. I'm going to become her therapist off the books. Right. These children are not in danger. They see this all day long. Yeah. And my daughter's like, Mommy, they're having a fight. I'm like, they are having a fight. And Troy's talking. And I just grabbed both my children's hands, and I went down to the beach.
Party.
Yep. Yeah. Because I knew my audience. I knew I couldn't impact them. I wasn't going to change them. Mm-hmm. I need to accept them where they're at. There was nobody in harm's way. Nobody was in danger. Yeah. And nobody was seeing anything they hadn't seen before. I mean, you could tell the kids, they weren't like, they were like, oh, this is what they do. Yeah.
Here's mom and dad again.
Yeah.
Right.
So that is so critically important. And, she came down a few minutes later, and she's like, oh, he's such a jerk. And I think I was so proud of myself, because being codependent, oh my, I would have been all up in their business.
It's okay. Yeah. Let me help you.
Here's my car.
Let me fix you.
You don't have to suffer this abuse. You don't have to take this. Kids, come on my life. I mean, it would have been just
Right,
god awful.
right.
I was like, oh my God, you're actually
You're
getting
the white
healthy.
hat woman.
Yeah, I felt
Right.
so healthy in that moment because I'm like, you know what? I'm not a firefighter. Why am I running towards fires? I'll
Right.
call the fire department if need be, but I can't do anything with this.
Right.
And she came, oh, he's such a jerk. And I think I literally said something like, it's hard. You know,
Yeah.
like kind of like what you're in is hard. Like, I know, but you're in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, it must be hard, but you know, you guys have known each other a long time.
Right.
Kind of like,
Right.
you'll do it or you won't do
Right.
it, or you'll change it or you won't, but
Right.
it has nothing to do with, and I think I said something about no judgment. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And thankfully, she never showed up to my door. Like, had I done anything else, this would have become
Yes.
very bad,
Yeah.
and she wouldn't have changed. Years later, I saw her, they had divorced.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
But not my place. So know your audience, know where people are at. If it's your friend that's always in denial, every time you say anything, she freaks out on you, she doesn't want to hear it, I don't want to talk about it, then you need to honor that and accept people where they're at.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Unless it's
That's a
something
big
that
thing
really
with us.
affects you.
Accept people where they
Woo,
are, right?
That's hard.
Ricardo says, nice to have a moment to sit and listen to the two of you. Thank you,
Aw,
Ricardo.
that's sweet. Thank
That's
you.
very nice. Okay, so know your audience, and also I love what you said before we went live was trust your gut.
Yes.
And you did that in that moment. You trusted your gut. You knew that it wasn't, you weren't going to change anyone.
I'm not going to change anyone, and
by saying something.
And nobody's in danger. I mean, definitely let me be very clear. Children are to be protected always.
Right.
If you see a harmful situation, but here's the thing: you're not a firefighter, so don't go running into a fire, and you're not a cop, so don't pull your gun. Call people who can help. If I really would have thought those kids were in danger, I would have dialed 911.
Yeah.
Right then and there.
Yeah.
So don't hesitate to do that. But how many times have you seen this? I've seen this a million times. You come out of a hotel, there's a couple fighting, she's timidly sitting on the curb, like scared. He's screaming in her face, but you can see they've done this 1,100 times.
Right.
Anytime that I've ever been like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, he comes for me.
Right.
And she's done this 3,000 times. You know what I mean? So you have to know the audience, but also if you are scared and your gut says danger, this is a dangerous environment, call 911, get the guard or wherever you are.
Right.
But your gut is a big part of this.
And what I was saying about sort of the whole bullying thing and also the social injustice thing, I love your second tool, which is to
be clear on your value system.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if it goes against what your values, and I think, if you're seeing someone being bullied, or if you're seeing something happening to someone that you don't feel is right and you need to speak up, then I think
you have to. You have to honor your value system. We have value systems for a reason. It's the way we choose to live our lives. And it's funny, as a therapist, one of my biggest things is when a client comes in, and I have clients from all walks of life, all religions. I really love to never judge. So what helps me not judge is to say to them, let's talk about your value system. Because I will say to them, they'll say, oh, I slept with somebody last night. I feel horrible. That's so horrible. That's not who I am. Isn't that horrible? And I'm like, no. It's not up to me. If your value system says, I am a 30-year-old woman and I can sleep with a different person every day of the week if I want to, and that's your value system and you're okay with that, then God bless.
Right.
But if your value system is that I raised Catholic, I want to wait till marriage, and then you're doing that, you're violating your own value system. Now we've got a problem. Now you feel guilty. Now you're drinking over it. Now you feel awful. Your self-esteem's affected. So it's so important for us to know our value system and then live to our value system.
Live authentically.
Yeah. My cousin just showed up. So hi, Stephanie.
Hi,
She's
Stephanie.
in Ohio. She's coming to visit soon.
As you see, you have to get really close to see names because I'm so blind.
Because we're old now. We're like, there it is.
Where is that? Oh yeah, Stephanie.
What happened to me last week? I was so upset. I got all cocky that I didn't need the secondary glasses.
Now you need them?
Overnight.
Yes,
So
that's what people say.
Overnight. I'm sitting in my little office chair and I went to read something and I'm like, oh my God, I can't. I can't see. And I'm really mad. So that's just a side note. It was overnight because I just got my eyes checked. And he's like, oh, you're not
so
having
did you
issues?
go get the little reading glasses?
Heck no. No.
Shannon,
I'm going to be that
you
lady.
have to go to Walgreens and get the little grandma reading glasses.
I'm not doing it. I'm going to be the lady with the commercial where they bring the billboards for your dinner. Oh, you guys are over 50. Here's your dinner billboards. That's what I'm doing. I'm not doing it.
Okay, I'm speaking up. You need to go get some peepers.
So That is another topic. We're going to do that
That's
show
right.
next week.
That's right. Getting old. All right. And I love your third one too,
Yes.
because this is another one that's going to like really decide whether or not you should speak up or let it go. All right. And what's
You
the final?
have to be prepared for any and all outcomes.
Yeah.
People sometimes do not do well when you share your feelings. You need to be prepared. They will stop being your friend.
Right.
They will cut you off for 6 months to go process it. Or they could hug and kiss you and thank you, or they could cut you off for 6 months and then hug and kiss and thank you at the end of 6 months. You know what I mean? Like anything can happen, and you need to be prepared for that. You need to be, I think what it's so painful.
Well, I think that goes back to your value system. Like if it's so, if you're trusting your value system, you are prepared for any outcome.
That's
right?
why that was number 2, Suzanne.
Right.
You're so good at this, because when your friend says, I can't believe you did this, I don't want to speak to you ever again, and you're laying in bed not able to sleep at night, and I've had this situation, you need to be able to go back and say, you know what?
I did what was right for me.
I did what was right. I did what was right. Because you'll go over it 3,000 times with a fine-tooth comb, and you need to be able to say, if I had it to do again, would I do it the same way? I would. So that's why that's number 2. Get clear on your values and what you believe and what your gut says before you do it, so that when you get rejected, and that's happened to me very painfully in the past few years. I lost one of my dearest friends in my life. In a situation, she thinks one thing happened, it didn't, but in a situation where, family came to me and was like, we're worried, blah, blah, blah. And I just did what I would do for anybody that I loved. Okay, this recommendation, I don't know what's going on, but here's the help that I can provide.
Right.
And I love this person dearly. If you say they're in trouble, then they're in trouble. And it came back like, how could you do this with my family? I'm like, I didn't.
They came to me.
Right. But I stand by it wholeheartedly, because at this point, like, I would do it if your family came to me and said, Suzanne's in trouble. And you're a therapist, Shannon, we have no clue. What do we do? I would do everything to save you, because you're my friend and I love you. Whether it's true or not, I would give those recommendations. So that keeps me, when I want to cry about it, because she was a lifelong 30-year friend, I'm like, but I know that if I had it to do again, I would have done it the exact same way. Because I love her, and if somebody tells me you're in trouble, I'm going to try to protect you. Yeah. Period.
The other thing I would say is, never react immediately. I mean,
all this takes time.
Yes, you have to do the pause. The pause, the take some time, because I think that's when you're, those things that Shannon was saying, like the tap on the shoulder, like that will keep coming back. And if you keep feeling that tap on the shoulder, and the muddy jar, like get that, all the craziness, and let it subside before you make, a decision whether to speak up. Right. Or if you just say, you know what, this is best left unsaid.
Yes, because the thing about it is, I love the tap on the shoulder, because the thing about it is when you let something go that you are supposed to deal with, it will come back. It will come back and come back and come back and come back.
Oh, good Lord, do I know that? Hold on, I'm going to go through some of these comments really quick.
Teresa
Teresa said, I love the response I get now from doctors. General practice. It's not uncommon for women your age.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that.
What does that mean? Women your age.
In the nose. You want to punch them right in the nose when they say that.
And then Stephanie says, amen to your values. You're the best therapists in the world, and I am in Cincinnati, and I know that.
And you're my family, and you're completely biased, and I love you.
And Dana. Hi, Dana. She says, love you both and your values.
We love you. She's in the
tribe.
I'm
so proud of Dana. Can I just give a shout out to Dana really quick? Because after she came to our show on starting over, like at mid-age, starting over, she'd always wanted to, she'd been doing this sort of wedding, what is it? It's not planning, but she was doing like all the little extra decorations and table decorations.
Artistic,
and she'd
creative.
been doing it for years for free. And I was like, you need to start your own business and you need to start getting paid for that. And she did. She started, she's had it for a while, but Pink Coconuts Boutique, go check it out.
Oh, that's so cool.
You can go check it out on Instagram. It's Pink Coconuts Boutique, because there's another Pink Coconut, but she's with an S. Pink Coconuts Boutique, and you can go check out all of her stuff. So she's
you rock, Dana.
So I love the fact that when we talk about these things and we're doing these shows, like people really are getting something out of it,
yes.
you know?
That's the whole reason we did it.
Changes in their life, which I love. So thank you, Dana. We're glad that you're here.
Yes.
So I think that, you know, those tools are really great. Know your audience, trust your gut, know your value system. And then once you know your value system, you have to be prepared for the outcome, whether it's
positive or negative. But you can live with it because it's what you believe in, and you would do it again. The muddy jar that you mentioned, in case people don't remember, it's a great technique in therapy that we used to do when I worked with an amazing woman on a 5-day intensive. She would do the muddy jar. You take a jar and you put mud in the bottom, and then you put water in the top, and of course everything's nice and clear. Well, then you shake that muddy jar.
Yeah, like you shake us.
Yeah, you shake that muddy jar, and then it's so hazy and you can't see anything. And so it was to help people realize how they shake up their lives, how they live in chaos, how they react, instead of, if you set the jar down, the dirt and mud settles and the water is crystal clear, and now you can think about what you need to do next. So take the time.
It's so true. I mean, this week I have been a crazy person and so anxious, and I was like, you know, yesterday I just said I've got to get to yoga because it's the only thing that's going to help me. And I did. I felt like a new person after, and I felt like I was making better decisions and clearer decisions. So I think that is really, really important, that you know the things that help you calm down, you know, and you do those things before you speak up.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. I was just going to say, I love that you brought that up. I love that you know that yoga is that thing. I've had an anxious week, and so I got up and did Headspace, you know, the 10-minute meditation app. And it's crazy to me that it helps, but it does.
I know, it does.
It's like crazy.
I did it this morning too, and I keep telling everyone, I'm like, if you're not doing Headspace or some app that you meditate with in the morning, it's so easy, it's guided, so even if you say you can't meditate, like this, really you can.
You can.
Yeah, it's really helpful. Also, okay, Lori says, also know where the receiving person is at. If you aren't sure to speak up or shut up, they may need the info. They may not be able to handle it.
Yeah.
They may not want it. Yeah, that's what kind of
know your audience. Yeah.
Know your audience.
That's important.
And know where they are right now in their lives, because, All right, guys. Well, anything else?
Oh God, no! This is a many-layered topic, and I think we should abort. I think we've done
abort mission.
Get out before it gets too dicey and I say too much. My cousin says, "Loose lips sink ships." You're right. Zip it.
I was like, what stories do we tell about this?
No,
none.
No more. We've done enough damage.
All right. Well, make sure you join our mailing list. Just go to our website, WYFWTY.com. We are sending out some new information in our newsletter. We're trying to get the newsletter out every week.
You're amazing.
No, this is so exciting because one of my dear friends who's an astrologist, Maureen Rothwell, Maureen Sestero, she came to our last show. And she was like, I want to do a horoscope for you guys for your newsletter. So go sign up for our mailing list, and you can see our new horoscope that we're going to send out.
She got us together, correct?
Yes. Maureen is the reason I met you.
Yes. She's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, she's on it. Like, she was describing my husband recently, and I'm like, you looking into our house? Like, it was crazy. She's on target.
So good. How do I sign up for your mailing list? Stephanie, go to WYFWTY.com, and a little box should pop up that says, give us your email address, and that will sign you up. If you don't see the box pop up, just scroll down on the home page, and there's a little thing at the bottom that says sign up for our mailing list. So that's how you do it.
Yeah, do that. Because I couldn't have told you that. That's exactly what you want to do.
We're redoing our website to make it look a lot, more
user-friendly.
User-friendly, and you'll see all of our videos and all of our episodes right there on the front. So
then I'll be able to tell you, because it's just too hard right now.
Right. Listen, she's in the trenches, fixing people.
Okay.
She's in the trenches fixing people.
That's why I'm completely inept in every other area.
No, that's not true. The other thing is go subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
We do go live when we do our full productions on not only here on Facebook, but also on our YouTube channel. And we're on podcasts.
Yes.
Which I just went to PodFest in Orlando, which is a podcast conference, and learned so much about podcasting. And everyone was like, okay, so how are you? I'm like, well, we just turn our audio from our show into a podcast. We don't actually sit there with the mics, but I was told that the audio is very important, so I'm getting
We're gonna do mics.
We'll
We
do
have the
mics.
stuff. You did great.
I don't
stuff.
have an attachment that goes on my phone though.
Do you have to buy an i27 to do that, or what do we have to do?
No, it's just
Says the
apparently
i8
a
phone
simple
user.
attachment. I just haven't gotten it yet.
Oh, okay.
I have microphones that can attach to my computer,
Yes.
but it doesn't look as good. I think this is better video quality on the phone for
Yeah.
some reason.
Are we gonna have to have big mics and stuff? Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
And like headphones, like we could be like real
Oh,
podcasters.
Wow. Oh, jeez.
Okay, maybe not.
This is what happens
Whatever.
when Suzanne has
I
time
know,
on her hands.
I know.
It's
Yes, 'cause I
catastrophic.
have so much time. Right. Okay, but we're gonna up our game on just these simple Facebook Lives because our full production is like full production.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, our next full production show is going to be next Friday.
Right.
At
This
noon.
coming Friday.
This
Yes.
coming
This
yeah,
coming
this coming
Friday.
Friday.
Friday's yesterday.
at noon,
Yeah.
and Banyan Global Investment Advisors sponsoring it once
Yes.
again. And the topic is going to be what did we say?
It's a very important
right,
topic,
right.
special needs. So if you are a parent with a special needs child,
Yes.
and this has been so near and dear to my heart for years. It's such a intricate, delicate topic, and
Right.
we just really want to handle it so beautifully because, man, it's really hard to be a parent. I mean,
Yeah.
really hard. And then you add
Have a child
a
with
special need.
Yeah.
It's nearly impossible. These are the modern day Marvel characters.
Yeah.
These parents that get through having special needs child, the emotional, the physical, the financial. So we want to help in any way possible. Really excited about it.
Yeah, and Banyan is actually Banyan Global Investment Advisors.
Yeah.
They are sponsoring again, and they actually suggested this topic because this is sort of their niche is dealing with the financial aspect of for parents that have special needs children and how you plan for that. You know,
because-
if they're going to be independent or never be independent. You know, and so those are some of the things that are really difficult, and we hope to give you some tools to maybe deal with that. So if you know any parents who have children with special needs, make sure you tell them to tune in next Friday at noon. We're going to be live with a full production show on
Definitely.
Okay.
All right, we're excited.
Thanks,
It's good to
guys.
see you guys. We missed you.
Thanks, Kathy. Both are
Yes,
awesome. Love the
thank
show.
you.
Thank you. All right, we'll see you next week.
All
next
right,
Friday.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.